students to Shiz University, Miss.
Come all too rare.
The continuation of the Wicked saga has been something fans of musical theater and fantasy adaptations have been anticipating for years. And Wicked, for Good, is positioned as one of the most emotionally charged and visually ambitious follow-ups in recent memory. Following the resounding buzz around the first Wicked film, which set the stage for the tale of Elphaba and Glinda, this sequel aims to push the boundaries of storytelling even further. What makes this next installment so interesting is how it promises to dive deep into themes of identity, loyalty, and the unforeseen consequences of doing what one believes is right. Unlike most sequels that simply build on the popularity of the first movie, Wicked, for Good, is being crafted as the emotional payoff for everything the first film set up. Cynthia Erivo's portrayal of Elphaba in the first part already impressed critics and audiences with its depth, strength, and vulnerability, and in this second installment, the emotional scope of her character is expected to expand significantly. The story appears to center around Elphaba navigating the aftermath of her faked death and her decision to live in the shadows, away from a society that labeled her a villain. Yet she is not without cause or purpose. Her motivations now seem to be guided less by reaction and more by intention, as she begins to understand how the politics of Oz operate and what her place in it truly means. Elphaba's arc continues to mirror the struggle for misunderstood voices to find acceptance in a world obsessed with appearances. At the same time, Ariana Grande's Glinda is on a parallel trajectory that explores the weight of fame, perception, and responsibility. The first film showed us a Glinda who wanted to be admired and beloved, but in For Good, she is faced with the challenge of maintaining her influence while staying true to what she's learned from Elphaba. Grande, who brought a refined theatrical charm to her role, is now being given room to evolve her character into someone more introspective. She's not just a bubbly blonde figure anymore. She's a woman struggling to reconcile her privileges with the deeper truths she has uncovered about the world she inhabits. One of the unique strengths of this second part is how it integrates the emotional and political aftermath of the first film with more character-driven storytelling. Jonathan Bailey returns as Yeoh, whose relationship with Elphaba was left unresolved and full of potential. With more focus on him, audiences may finally get to see what kind of leader or partner he becomes when the expectations of royalty are peeled away. Jeff Goldblum's wizard will also be further explored. After his manipulative actions and deceptive control in the first film, the sequel offers a ripe opportunity to peel back the layers of his influence on Oz and the moral ambiguity that surrounds his leadership. Yeoh, portraying Madame Morrible, is another returning character whose story is far from over. Her allegiance to the oppressive systems in Oz makes her a perfect counterpoint to the ideological transformation of Elphaba and Glinda. It's expected that the sequel will confront her actions more directly and possibly deliver the consequences. Her character narrowly escaped in the first part. Yeoh's commanding presence ensures that every scene she's in will carry significant dramatic weight. In addition, supporting characters like Nesseros, Bach, and newcomers introduced in this part of the narrative will add layers of complexity and emotional investment, reminding viewers that every action ripples outward. The artistic vision behind Wicked for Good has also been a major topic of conversation. Director Jon M has remained committed to preserving the theatrical roots of the original musical while translating it into something cinematically grand. His approach to filming the two parts back-to-back allowed for better narrative cohesion and a stronger emotional through-line between both movies. With For Good, the visual storytelling is expected to reach new heights. Environments like Kiamoko, the Emerald City, and even the hidden corners of Oz not previously seen are crafted with detailed practical sets and enhanced by VFX only where necessary. The blend of practical and digital effects makes for a more immersive world that feels tangible. The commitment to authenticity extended to the way music was captured as well. Rather than relying solely on studio dubbing, many of the vocal performances were recorded live on set to better capture the emotional immediacy of each scene. This decision adds a rawness and realism to musical moments that is often missing in other musical adaptations. The score, with music composed by Stephen Schwartz and orchestrated by John Powell, retains the powerful melodies of the stage musical while introducing new compositions specifically written for the film. These new songs are said to further develop character arcs and give insight into the emotional states of Elphaba and Glinda as they grapple with their diverging paths. From a technical standpoint, the film is a marvel in terms of production design. For instance, the choice to plant 9 million real tulips for the Munchkinland set is not just a display of scale, but a commitment to creating living, breathing locations. It's these kinds of touches that elevate the film from being just another fantasy movie into something truly cinematic and memorable. The decision to physically build the yellow brick road rather than rely on CGI is another example of the practical approach that grounds this otherwise magical world in tactile reality. The production faced its share of challenges too. Filming was temporarily halted during the industry strikes in 2023, but the team managed to stay on track and wrapped up filming for both parts by early 2024. This allowed ample time for editing, post-production, and refining the visual effects. The delay also gave the studio time to plan a strategic release schedule. Wicked for Good is slated to release on November 21st, 2025, nearly a year after the first installment. This staggered release gives audiences time to digest the story and build anticipation, making the sequel feel like an event rather than just a follow-up. Another interesting detail is how the marketing team plans to reintroduce audiences to the world of Oz. Leading up to the sequel's release, the first part is scheduled for a re-release in select theaters, accompanied by the first full trailer for Wicked for Good. This trailer is expected to set the tone for the sequel while providing glimpses of the expanded cast, new musical numbers, and higher-stakes conflicts. It's a clever move that reinforces the cinematic universe while generating renewed interest in the franchise. Ultimately, Wicked for Good is more than just the second half of a story. It is a thematic conclusion to the journey of two women who were never meant to be friends but became forever changed by one another. The emotional weight carried in the title alone, taken from one of the most beloved songs in the original musical, hints at the bittersweet journey ahead. It suggests closure, growth, and possibly even sacrifice. Fans who have followed the stage version for years will be eager to see how the movie honors the source material while charting its own course. As we inch closer to the film's release, it's clear that the filmmakers, cast, and crew have poured an extraordinary amount of care into every detail. The dual narrative of Elphaba and Glinda serves as a reminder that good and evil are not fixed points but fluid, often misunderstood forces. With strong performances, breathtaking set pieces, and a score that tugs at the heart, Wicked for Good is shaping up to be the kind of film that resonates long after the credits roll. It captures the essence of what happens when unlikely people challenge the stories written about them, and how the world changes when they choose their own endings.